Welcome back to another video. Today we're doing another demolition, but this time around it is our own RV. I hope that you guys enjoy it and let us know what you think on the comments. Long story short, we decided to get an older RV and just do a quick renovation to make it into our own. Our initial idea was to buy an older rig that was in super good condition and then reform it to the things that we liked and that we wanted. The reason for this is that older rigs have pretty much better bones. As you could see in this RV, everything looked perfectly fine and also everything worked. Water pump, the fridge, everything, absolutely everything was working perfectly fine when we bought it. However, as I said before, we just wanted to make it better and to make it look the way that we liked. In other words, make it our home. First off, of course, was the whole demolition, and we started by removing this old balance on the windows that I totally hated. It wasn't difficult to remove, but it was a little bit tricky because we had to find where all of the screws were at, and you just had to get around all of the fixtures that this RV had. When we found this RV, it was definitely the one that was made for us. It had all of the check marks of the things that we were looking for. This is a 1995 Barth Monarch, and even though it's an older model, it is a diesel pusher and everything was in impeccable condition. When we came inside of the RV, we noticed that it even had the original TVs, which was really funny to us because most people, that's the first thing that they change. But talking to the previous owners, they let us know that this RV had been sitting down for quite some time because they weren't using it anymore. So, it was a good time for them to get rid of it and for us to go ahead and buy it. Another really good reason why we wanted to buy an older RV, it's because you get a better opportunity at getting an RV that has been fixed if it had any kind of problem from the factory. When you buy a brand new RV, being that you're the first owner, anything related to factory issues, that's on you. Most times, yes, you do have the factory guarantee, but that is honestly a headache and a lot of back and forth, and we didn't want to go through any of that. Especially, we didn't want to have to finance. So getting this rig, we paid full cash for it, and we were able to take it home immediately. Another reason why we fell in love with this particular RV was because the build was just so great. This RV is completely built of aluminum, so all of the exterior it's aluminum, which means that we will never have any issues with the lamination, which is a really big deal in the RV world. So the less that we had to worry about it, the better it is for us. And that is something that really caught our attention. On top of that, something else that we were looking for was no slide outs and a decent size. When I say decent size, it's the size that we wanted. Prior to buying this RV, we had a small Ford E350 van, and it was really tiny, but we managed to live in it for a full year. Buying this RV, of course, we wanted the space, but we did not want too much space because it's just the two of us. So this one, it had, as I said before, it had all of the check marks of the things that we were looking for. Plus the layout, it's just amazing. We really like it, and we enjoyed the entire process as well. And a very quick tip that we want to share with you guys today is that if you happen to be in the market to buy an RV, regardless of whether you want to buy a new one or an older one, it's to have a very clear idea of what you're looking for and try to stick to it for as much as you can. Plus, do a complete research. Try to contact private sellers, go to Facebook Marketplace, go absolutely everywhere that you can think of to find that perfect RV. Because having, of course, the clear idea of what you want and just be a little bit patient to find it, that would be the perfect match for you to be happy with your purchase. A lot of people might not believe when we say that this RV, it's perfect for us. Yeah, there's a few things here and there that we did, but it was all to just make it better, make it our own, and make it look the way that we want it. But all of that was sincerely due to us having a clear idea of the things that we wanted. So as long as you have a plan and stick to it, I promise you that you will find that RV that you're looking for. Something else that we had to remove, although we didn't have any idea that we had to change it, was our bedside drawers. So we have like these little nightstands, and I was the one to check inside of all of the drawers and all of the cabinets, and I did pull out this drawer when we went to see the RV. However, I didn't take the drawer out because everything looked in really good condition. However, to our surprise, when we started to reimagine the RV, we thought of doing a deep cleaning as well to look in more detail one more time all around the RV. And when I pulled out the drawers, I noticed that it had a million ants inside. Thankfully, the ants were all dead, so we didn't have any animals alive inside of the RV. But we realized that they had eaten away a lot of the interior frame for this nightstand. Nothing on the some parts of the frame, or the drawer, but some other parts were really bad. So we had to take all of that apart and do them again. That was something that we couldn't have seen beforehand, because who would think of pulling out drawers? But if you are in the market, do it, because we wouldn't want for you to, this is not a big thing, but it was an inconvenience because we had to rebuild that and we didn't have that plan, which is a really minor thing. But for other people, this could be much more difficult. So just keep that in mind. None of the wall area or anything surrounding it was in bad condition. It was just the inside of the drawer. And in order to remove this, the top of the drawer, this is, I don't remember the material that it has, but it's the same material that we have on the counter of our kitchen and also in our bathroom. And at this point, I didn't have a better idea on how to remove it, so I had to remove all of the screws from the interior that were going up into that, and it was just really hard. So I used my phone as a mirror so that I could locate the screws better. So that's another tip, you can always use your phone and use it as a mirror. Hope that it can help you out as well. At this point, I had already removed the top of the nightstand and looked inside, and it honestly looked really bad. So we were like just trying to remove as much as the bad wood that was in there, and just removing everything to make sure that this issue would not spread, or I don't know. I didn't know what those ants were doing there or why in that particular spot. Plus, they were all dead when I opened this up. So it was just a good time to remove all that we could from that area, and of course replace it with brand new everything. That is something that you guys will get to see later on this series for our RV and the entire renovation. And the very next day, then I went ahead to remove the other nightstand that initially we did not plan on doing anything to, because it wasn't in any deteriorating condition. But since we had to pretty much rebuild the entire other side in order for them to match. We then had to make changes to this one as well. So I went back inside and I again used the phone as a mirror. I used the same trick to locate the screws that were going up from inside of the drawer. And fun fact, we purchased this RV in October of 2021. So we drove it down to Florida and we started working on it immediately. So this must have been sometime like maybe the second or third, even the third week of October. And as you can see, I am not wearing a jacket or even a top, just the sports bra because it was just so hot. And yeah, for those of you who don't know, that is life in Florida. No matter what time of the year, it can be really, really hot to the point that you don't even want to wear any clothing. So anyhow, just had to get that out of my chest. If you're like me that doesn't really enjoy the fact that there is literally just one season in Florida, which is summer all year round, or maybe if you love the fact that Florida is summer all year round, just leave me a comment and let me know, because we would love to hear what you guys think about the Sunshine State. And the very next day, out of curiosity, we decided to remove one of the wall pieces from behind the bed out of curiosity, because we wanted to see if there was any type of insulation in this area. To our not surprise, we saw that the only type of insulation that there was just sun reflective, which is not the most ideal type of insulation, to be honest. It will not really make a difference if it gets hot or if it gets cold. And Javi and I both think that a proper insulation can do wonders for the life inside of an RV or a van. We are totally pro insulation, the more the merrier, and you can see that on our video when we were building our van, because we did a lot of insulation there, and that ended up being one of the best things that we did for our van. So we knew that RVs are not made the same, but we still wanted to go ahead and check. So after we pulled out the first piece of the wall, we saw that there was literally nothing except for that thin wall, just a little bit of reflective, and then it was just the outer wall, which is aluminum, and aluminum can heat up really, really fast. So we decided to remove as much of this area as we could, and so that we could put additional insulation. We only did it in this part because it's where we sleep. So we knew that the insulation would help with the outside noise coming in if we decided to later on stay at a truck stop, and also of course with the temperature. If the sun hits us from that side, from that angle, it would feel really uncomfortable sleeping in there. Or if it gets really, really cold, of course, that's where our head will rest for the night, and it will feel again really uncomfortable. So our solution was to try and add as much insulation in the space that we had from the outer wall and the interior wall to try to make it better. Now, a year after, we can say that it's made some change. There is an improvement, although we didn't really get to experience it before doing it. But we know that insulation is really good. We wish that we could have done this to the entire RV, but that would mean removing every single piece of wall, and that's just a lot of time, money, and just a lot of work. So we're also not on the extreme. We don't want to be extremists. But behind in this area, we thought that it would be a really good plan to do it. And that is why we decided to remove all of the wall in this area, and you can see just the outer wall from there. In order to go ahead and remove from the sides, it required doing some cutting, and we decided to do this from the part that wouldn't be visible once we put the nightstands back. So that's why you see me cutting in this area, because we didn't want to cut any higher than what we would see once it was all put back into place. That's what makes a job seamless. And that is it for today's video. As always, we want to thank you all for being here and watching our content. I hope that what we shared was of help, especially if you're looking for an RV. It doesn't matter if you're looking for a new one or an older one. The tip that we shared today will help you out, because it will keep you more calmed, especially during the entire process. I know that it can get a little bit hectic, but knowing what you want and having a clear idea, it's the secret to finding a rig that you would love. And if you have to make a change here and there, that would be minimal, because of course you have to stick to the plan, and that way you can find something that will make you and your family happy. As always, remember that we are on Facebook and Instagram as Javi and Eli Travels, and you guys can find much more detailed information about our lifestyle and everything that we do by going to our website, javiandelytravels.com. Thank you, and see you soon.